gone away. So yeah,
Right on.
def definitely something that
We're
people should
live.
look into.
I think we're live.
That
Did it
just
say we're
came up.
live yet? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a little pop-up at the top of the window.
All right. Let's stop talking about our cramps, okay, Manny?
All right. Gosh, Manny, I'm sorry about your
I can't help
cramps.
myself,
Ease up on the
once
cramp talk.
I can't help but feel the need to spread awareness when it comes to men's cramps.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie horse.
Men's
Yeah,
men's cycle.
all types of, male issues, health-related issues.
Is the men's cycle real? Is it? I
Yeah.
ask you two experts.
Yes.
It all
It is, yeah.
depends on, one's diet as well. So that heavily influences the severity of the male cycle.
Oh, I think men cycle. I think they get emotional. Yeah, no, no
There are a few
emotions.
men's out there that, they're in their feels.
I mean, I don't know about
Seen quite a few of
emotional,
them this week.
fired up, maybe. Like, I don't know. I
Sure.
feel like sometimes, some things bother me more than
Hmm.
Sure.
others. Like sometimes, certain times of the month,
If
I
the
can
moon
let
is
things
full, if
slide.
you're outside and the moon's full, you cycle with the moon.
Other times, just like, man, someone's got to pay for this.
Yeah.
Need
Yeah.
some revenge. Revenge is on my mind.
Hmm.
Go, go ahead, start recording the audio, senor.
I'm not sure what episode number this is. Recorded the cloud.
208, 208. Uh, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for 200 episode 208 of your Endless Ranters podcast. We do what we want and we appreciate your support. My name is Chris, and I'm one of your hosts for this evening, joined by one of our other hosts. It's a Maxwell housewife living in a crunchy mom's world, if I've got that right. It's Kwana. How you doing?
Good, Christopher. Happy fake Friday,
Yep,
thirsty Thursday.
it is Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
And producer Manny, what's going down, old man?
The onions are turning the frogs gay, Christopher, man. Did you hear about the onion
I
purchasing
did hear about this.
InfoWars?
This is
The
messed up.
onions. Oh
Why
my
you got to get
God,
me
the
fired up,
onions.
man? Why you got to
The
bring up such
onions.
negativity? You got to bring up such negativity.
I honestly, I woke
Stinky
up,
vegetables.
woke up this morning. Shout out to my trivia group, my group of friends, Coney 2012. They're one of my friends, Shaggy. He's just like, so the Onion purchased InfoWars. So I was just like, man, what timeline am I living? I literally just wake up and get a text, and that's what I hear. That's what I read. It's like, all right, this is interesting.
I don't like it. I'm not like an InfoWars subscriber. I'm not on their mailing list, which now the
Yeah.
Onion now owns. I'm not on. I've never purchased anything from InfoWars, vitamins, whatnot, scarves, headbands,
Right.
whatnot, nothing.
Headbands.
Supplemental vitamins. They do
Flags,
those.
banners.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not on any of those. But yeah, the Onion now owns that. It's like it's kind of, and there was like karma. It's like, is it karma? Like,
Doesn't doesn't
does that make up for like
InfoWars
dead children? Like, is that are the parents of the Sandy Hook families? Are they like feeling good now that like some shit, like there's some pieces of shit that own the Onion now? In case they weren't aware, like these are total scumbags. Ben Collins and some other mainstream media have used up piece of garbage, bought the Onion, and then the families sold the Infowars to them for pennies on the dollar
Mhm.
so that they could have a good old yuck it up. Not so they could pay tribute or anything to their deceased loved ones, but to have a
Mhm.
yuck it up time and like make jokes about it. Like so, like do they ever think about like what's the origin? The origin of this was this insanely disturbed, mentally ill person that decided to go and do carnage on children, innocent children.
Mhm.
And the end is like the Onion now owns InfoWars, and all the people at the Onion are like making jokes about it. Like that's funny. Like okay, I don't think it resuscitates anybody, but
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
not to throw like, but like it's just like that's so disturbing. But I get it on like a surface level, like that is crazy. Yeah, you're right. It's crazy to like hear something like that.
So does that money that InfoWars sold for go to the families? Is that
Yeah, but it's like nothing. It's like a
right?
tiny percentage of the $1 billion or whatever that
Right.
he owes them. So it's
Or
it's not
yeah.
like it's not about karma. It's not about it's really about like vengeance. So
Yeah. Well, I think he's gonna be fine. I think everybody's, right?
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like you don't like I don't know, like how bad do you want to punish someone for words? Like hurtful
It's
words. Like
it's
and I
These
wild.
understand
days,
like they can be insanely hurtful, right? But it's like if he has to pay $1 billion for hurtful words, then like does that set the market for hurtful words
Exactly.
that
Exactly. I think that was the intention. It's
and
weird.
then as many people are saying, like what happens to CNN or,
Yeah.
those businesses when they've slandered people for years,
Or the
nothing.
fear porn that they've put out for the past 4 years. I mean, the suicide
Yeah.
rate went up. Like, I mean, they have people just beside themselves with story after story after story that has been disproven, but they just keep saying it. They just keep saying, repeating the lie, repeating the lie, repeating the lie.
mhm.
Obama repeated a lie a couple days ago. It's just weird. The whole thing is weird how they
Yeah,
can
it is a
just say
certain
whatever.
it's a certain kind of evil. Yeah, to get people
Yeah.
so riled up over something, it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the suicide that those all those stories, those numbers were true. I'm kind of
Yeah.
doubting it. You know
Okay.
what I mean? But the fact that those people would be like, "Oh my God, look at all these people that have killed themselves." Not really. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
oh,
That's
like
horrible too.
the people that are like pushing the story, like, yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
people. It's the
Yeah.
same people that are pushing the stories about how, if Donald Trump's elected, democracy is over and your rights are gone and you're not going to
Yeah.
exist. He's going to take your existence away from you.
And so
Like,
many, there's been a handful of individuals that have either taken themselves out or their family as well as themselves out because of
oh,
Trump's reelection.
there was some crazy, well, I mean, yeah, it's crazy's off the hook here in America. Like, we're just
Yeah. Well, I think
like,
a lot of
yeah.
people are on edge, obviously, and maybe over medicating. I don't know, or over medicated. I don't
I
know.
think the
Crazy's
over
crazy's running
medicating is like
rampant.
people are just really unhappy, I think, overall, and they're searching for something. Everybody is, myself included, like
Of course.
to some degree, like not, some people it's like 90-10, some people it's like 50-50, but like some people are just searching for something. And um because we just live in a world where you don't really like just food comes at you, like food,
Right.
like not for everybody, I know but like for a lot of people, like food just kind of comes at you and like not a lot of danger, not a lot of threats to your life or safety or anything like that. And just it
Right.
gets humans thinking different.
Unless they're in your neighborhood with your big puma running around.
Oh yeah, we got
Wild. It's a big
somewhere
ass
around here,
cat.
there's like a mountain lion, which I kind of like that. I kind of like the fact that like there's still nature around here,
Sure.
you know, because I got a lot of rabbits, but we don't have squirrels around here because there's
I
no
don't know
real
why, but I feel like
mature
you live,
trees.
I feel like
Yeah.
Chris lives near a plateau, like given all the wildlife that he's encountered since we've been doing this
Yeah, it is
podcast.
like I think that's like the area that I live in is like I always forget, but it's flat or whatever. I forget what they call it. Like it's pretty flat here.
Hmm.
Right. Well,
And it
your
But yeah, there
squirrels
just,
was
will come. The squirrels will
mountain
come.
lions. Yeah, as the trees get bigger, the squirrels will come. But we have a lot of
Yeah.
rabbits that live under the shrubs,
It's
uh,
cute.
eat all the landscaping.
Yeah.
Squirrels, no. Bobcats, yes. Mountain lions, I guess we got a couple of mountain lions in the area now,
right.
Which I don't know. I don't like that because my dogs could take a bobcat, but not a mountain lion. That's a
Yeah,
that's a
that's a big one.
that's different.
They're big. We had one in the old neighborhood that I lived. It was like up on the ring cameras, and that thing was like
Yeah.
160 pounds or something like that.
What
Big.
what wouldn't we know about without ring cameras? You know what I mean? Like that in the last
Yeah.
5, 10 years, like all kinds, like if you're like a mountain lion or a bobcat, you can just do whatever you want
Right.
and
Yeah.
Live,
and have
roam with
like,
impunity.
yeah, you'd have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Hmm.
You know what I
Sure.
mean? As you prowl a backyard. But nowadays with ring cameras, it's gone. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like 1984 for the animals, you know,
It's
just constant surveillance.
like we didn't
Yeah.
sign up for this, damn it.
But like that was always happening. There's always like a mountain lion every now and then coming through your backyard.
Yeah. Just didn't know.
Well, with these ring cameras, everybody's got a ring camera, not on their front door, but their back door, their fence gate, with
Yeah.
like the automatic sensors and timers and alerts going off. And
And the cameras are really good now. I mean, most of them are can really
yeah,
see what's going on back there.
yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
guys
mostly like
watch
my
any of the
dogs
stuff
can't
about
take
the
it.
aliens
No,
today?
you asked about that earlier.
So yeah, I
any big
haven't
news?
I haven't heard
Yes.
much as
Girl,
far as
yes,
aliens are
they
concerned.
said that they're in the water.
Oh,
They're
I've
in the
already had,
water.
yeah.
They said that they said like normal G-force that like a human can withstand is like 9 or something like that. And the and this is like a what is the jet admiral? What is the like the big one? He's a big one. This isn't just like some guy that saw it. Like he's a rear admiral that's testifying.
I
And
don't know if an
he said
admiral,
that
like,
it
I don't want to
splits.
sidetrack you, but is a rear admiral better than a regular admiral? Like, you know what I mean? Because
Oh,
like, if you say you're rear admiral, is like, is that like a, and we're
I
going to
don't
get
know.
back to
Are
this
you on the
UFO
back of the
talk,
boat?
but it's like, yeah, like, but it's back
It's
to the
just
boat
wild that no
good.
one
Because if you're on the
cares. Like
back
that
of the
it's not
boat, it's more
everywhere.
comfortable.
Manny, will you figure that out about the admiral and the rear admiral?
I'm
Admiral?
looking into it.
I'm just in the military world. It's like, oh, you're a rear
But
admiral. Oh,
that's
okay.
who's testifying. It's not just some jabroni on the,
Oh
on
yeah.
the flight deck.
No, they had me sold at like Air Force pilots in like the 60s or 70s
Yeah.
because again, these are not yahoos that were, you
Yeah.
know,
He
just
said it's like
picked randomly.
3,000 G-force is what the vessel moved at.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, but
And
they're
he said that
also
there was like this
assuming
this
it's
thing
not
that came up.
but it was remote controlled. It doesn't really matter. There's no
This thing
creature in
was
it.
as big as a submarine. He said it wasn't a submarine. He said, well, if you've ever seen a submarine in the water, you know a submarine, you can never mistake it as something else. He said it wasn't that, and then it was gone, and the speed that it went at was a G-force that they've never seen.
Oh, this is the underwater one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really going to rule anything out, to
Yeah.
be
They
perfectly
also
honest, you know. It's like
testified that there's like somebody that, like, I guess the government is paying for people that have been injured by retrieval of an unidentified vehicle vessel or whatever
but
they're
that's
calling
like a
it.
real that's an insurance code now. There's like an actual insurance code for
But we're
I
paying
get it. Yeah.
their like they were injured in the line of duty in this
Hmm.
very classified way that we're not allowed to talk about, but they do exist. And they agree that yes, they do exist, that we are paying people that have been injured by retrieval of these things or what I don't
Yeah,
know.
it'd be like the paperwork would be like, Sergeant Major Johnson was anally probed by redacted. Like, like I wouldn't actually say it. It would just
Right.
Listen, I don't know.
it would allude to it. It would have, no, I'm
I
with you
just,
though,
but
because I could believe about
didn't they
anything.
already say this though? I mean, I feel like we've had this conversation before that they told us that aliens were real and no one cared before either, but that was like 2 years ago, maybe, right?
I mean,
Because
like, yeah, yeah. I
Right?
mean,
And no one
I
cared. And now they're reiterating, they're like, no, they're real. And everybody's just like, oh my God, did you hear the
if I could speak for if I could speak for like average Joe, which I
speak
don't,
on, brother, speak on.
which I just
Hell
is like a
yeah.
fantasy for me. It's like we're all at the point where it's like, okay, yes, we believe you, all of you, that anything is possible. Start showing us actual proof, or shut the fuck up. You're wasting our time.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I got, other communists on Facebook to fight with. No, but I think then like that's where people feel like, yeah, okay, you've primed me,
Right.
right? There's enough weird stuff. I'm not even trying to look at all of it, but I've been exposed to enough of the weird stuff that like, okay, now it's time to start showing me something for real. I don't really.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my personal thing. It's like I'm not really going to tune into C-SPAN to watch the hearings because it's just like
Okay.
I need you to show us. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I want to
And
see
now
it.
I need to see something in 4K now.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear any more about like this happened and this was deleted and this was redacted and this is pop and like,
If it
it's
is
like,
in the ocean though, like if the aliens, like if that is where, doesn't that kind of make the whole space thing a little weird though? Like it's just assumed that the aliens were in space. Were we forced to kind of think that the aliens were in space, or
I think it's
was
natural
it
to
a
think that they're,
misdirection?
No.
I think it's very natural for humans to think that whatever that is to be as far away as possible.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Right.
it kind of makes sense. It's like, oh, these aliens, they like to stay hydrated too. They like food, they like proteins and
But
like
haven't you
vegetables
seen like
too. And
some of the
they want to
weirdest?
they want to be here and they're actually want to like they'd rather be here and hide out than be in the cold darkness of space in a
Gotcha.
vacuum sealed ship, or you know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
Yeah.
logically, if there are these beings, they probably prefer to be here, like hanging out in the fields and stuff and like the forest
Yeah.
than like in a cold metal tube and you know
Sure.
where
But
it's yeah.
like if you've seen like fish, like if you ever go to an aquarium and then you see a fish, a species of fish that you've never seen before in your life, like that's pretty alien looking, like I'm
Oh
just
yeah, I love that
interesting what we
stuff.
would even see.
Yeah,
How
like
could you differentiate?
fish that live in where there's zero light. Like, it's kind
Yeah.
of yeah, it's like because it is mind blowing if you kind of let it be. But yeah, there's like,
Yeah.
when you're younger, you're taught like, oh, well, everything needs heat and light or whatever, and it's like, well, no, actually, we found some like weird ass looking creatures
They need nothing.
at the bottom of the ocean floor that have never seen light or heat,
Yeah.
and they just live off of every now and then there's like a volcanic eruption and they just absorb some heat from that,
Yeah.
and
The
then
comment
that
section said, so the abyss was a true story of the alien
yeah,
origin
I
story.
was
It's
about to
like,
Pretty
say
I guess
much.
that.
Yeah.
so.
I love that movie. Abyss was a great
Yeah.
movie. There was
It's a
another
great movie.
Leviathan. Abyss, Leviathan, yeah. And
They were
also,
getting
plus
you.
Tucker Carlson already, he told us that
He
the
already broke
aliens are
it.
here. They're living under the ground, underneath the oceans. So they're not in the ocean. They're underneath the ocean.
It's
That's
why
where they
only
live.
5% of the ocean has been explored. They don't want us to explore the rest and, discover them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Antarctica too, right?
We could explore more if we wanted to, but our hands are tied.
Did you figure out what's better, an
I
admiral
think
or a rear admiral?
I was looking up the dude's name that testified. I didn't get a chance to look into
we need
their
to know
ranking.
like pre-Biden administration and post-Biden because it could be different. It's a terrible joke, but
I
no, I saw
understand.
something recently about Antarctica. Is There was a treaty signed that no countries would explore Antarctica for oil or any whatever, like
Resources.
normal human agro stuff,
Right.
like
Yeah.
normal human stuff. Like, I want to own this place. I want to build
It's
something
interesting that they
here,
all agree on it,
but it
right?
expires. But that expires.
Oh, good.
Well,
What are they
I don't
gonna
know
do, you think?
because, well, what I saw was that because the all the countries know it's expiring, each country is sending a lot of stuff there and just trying to build stuff because it's like possession is what 9/10 of the law,
9/10 of
whatever you
the
want to
law.
say. So it's
Yeah.
like every country is trying to like rapidly expand their research facilities,
Right. Interesting. One of the
build
people that
stuff
testified today
because
did say that there was a race to the moon. We're in a race to China to the moon. Like
Mhm.
just as the sentence that he said. It's gone viral.
I
I
saw
guess go back to
something.
the moon.
So I saw something. I don't know. Again, uh, something about how time on the moon with the radioactivity from the sun would actually be like you don't want to really. I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that could be. There's a lot of stuff on the internet these days, so haven't had time
Can't
to look
believe it
into
all.
that.
Boy,
I think
is there.
the point they were making was that normal space travel, like the space station, goes so far out and it's kind of safe, but like going even further out to the moon is kind of you get exposed to more radiation.
Yeah, that's kind of
I don't know.
the argument about the moon landing itself is that there's the Orion belt, I guess, is full of radiation and nothing can withstand it, including the images that came back.
Well, I'll tell you what, an Indian satellite could
Always bringing
not
up the
like,
Indians.
yeah, not the Navajo I'm talking about either. I'm talking about, you know, those
Yeah, the other
over there.
ones.
You see, yeah,
Shailene's people, yeah, I hear
Uh-huh,
you.
see my
uh-huh,
head, you see my head
uh-huh,
moving
uh-huh.
way over there. But like, yeah, they put something down on there. It's like Mario Kart. They put a Mario Kart on the they put a Mario Kart on the moon.
I'm
It's
trying
all
to
Well,
figure
that
out the rear admiral thing because Manny's not understanding. A rear
the
it's
admiral
importance of
is,
this.
yeah,
no. So I all right, a rear admiral in for the
it's
in
it's among the
for
highest ranking officers. A rear admiral and vice admiral in the Navy are among the highest ranking officers.
But is it
So
better than a full admiral, or is a rear
who
admiral
outranks
better?
an admiral? The chief of the Navy operation outranks all four-star admirals, such as the commander of the Atlantic Fleet, the commander of the Pacific Fleet.
Mhm.
Is there a rank higher than admiral? Yes. 07 rear admiral.
So yeah,
Oh, so
even
rear
within
admiral is better.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's who was testifying about that today.
They should probably Trump should probably
Blame
do something about that. He should probably change. He should Trump should be like, it should be a forward admiral.
forward and a side admiral, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it'd be like enough of the gay stuff.
Well, what do you mean? He said he's an ally to
Just to make
the.
sure, there's no confusion.
Mhm.
Well, there's yeah, no, I gotcha. Don't
That would be
offend.
funny.
The
That's what I meant.
admirals, rear or otherwise.
Well, good. I already forgot which one's better. Be honest with
Yeah,
you. Like,
rear's
I'll
better.
look it up
The
tomorrow.
rear's better.
I guess that means like so you could stay in the back, like you don't have to be in the most forward ship because obviously that one's going to be at most risk. You want to be in the back, the rear ship, or it could just be the back of the boat because that's more comfortable than riding on the bow.
Doesn't rear also mean rise? Like
Oh,
rear your ugly head or
like an
rear isn't
attacking admiral,
rear
like a rising
doesn't
attacking
rear
admiral.
mean also rise?
So like a
Show your head, or show your face, or show your head,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
like an admiral, like a cobra, like rearing up his
Yeah.
admiral head. No, I don't think so. No, as cool as it sounds.
Oh, so the gay part is probably more
Yes,
okay. Got it.
I don't.
Got it.
It's the
It
human
always comes back
condition.
to the gay stuff with Chris.
Yeah, no, you don't, I don't,
It's
yeah,
like
you don't
that.
make the rules.
What's that? Is it gay? Is that gay? Is the rear admiral gay?
Put you on the chair.
He should ask that guy, whatever that guy's name is, that black guy.
Hold on, my dog is stuck. Damn it, Bucky.
Which black guy?
The guy, you've seen that. I don't even know who it is, but it was like internet sensation where he says, "When I snap my fingers, you'll forget you were gay." But he says, "You'll
Yeah,
forget you were gay." You've seen that guy, right?
No, I
so
haven't seen.
funny.
What?
It's the funniest video ever. And the guy's like,
How could you not
I'm
see that? There's
gay.
like spoofs. There's like parodies of it already. Oh my god.
It's so funny. Oh my God.
That's what I was saying. He should do a thing on like rear admiral. He should interview a rear admiral. Be like, why are you so gay? Okay. He's an African guy.
Yeah.
African guy.
Yeah. Manny,
All right,
I
that
can't believe
narrows
you
it
have this
Hilarious.
down.
It's hilarious because it's also like, what is this? Like when you first see it, you're just like, is this real? Like,
You
but
can
no,
share the
they're
screen.
just
You got to
guys.
play it, Christopher.
Oh, I don't have it up.
Oh, it's a good one, Manny. That made me laugh so hard. I sent that to every person I know when that came out. So you have seen it, Manny. I'm sure I
I
sent
don't
it.
know how to. I don't know how
Yeah,
to
maybe I
find
just
it.
forgot.
It's been just displayed to me so many times by Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I don't know how to even find it. How would you
Good
even search
one.
for that guy?
Whatever. We could worry about that later. We still got some
Sure.
other things
Well,
to discuss.
the thing
Sure,
is that
sure,
anybody
sure.
that's listening, everyone in the world except for Manny has seen it, knows exactly what we're talking.
Exactly.
It's, there's really no need. There is no need to see the clip because everybody's seen it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will
But
know
yeah,
exactly what we were referring to.
except for you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry, Manny. Too busy
A
watching
story of my
drone
life.
videos.
I think
Yeah.
that guy's even been on like other podcasts, like being himself, joking around, like out of
Yeah.
character. But I don't
Mm.
know.
Yeah, you got to pull the mask off every now and again.
Yeah.
Uh,
So let's get down to business. It's been a good week. It's been a happy week,
It's been a
right?
like one thing after another. Like sometimes there's like three
It's been a
major
little bit.
announcements in one day.
It has been an
Yes.
intense happiness. It has been like you're going to be happy or no, like yeah, just like happiness just punching you in the face.
Well, I'm curious to get your guys' takes on
It's like you
Trump's
wake.
cabinet appointees.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you it's like you wake up in the morning and just happiness is kicking you in the gut. It's just and it never felt so good. Never felt so good. Cold
Yeah.
outside. It's a little rainy, wet, whatever. It's like, oh man, no.
Yeah.
No, he's on a roll. He's on a tear. It's very
Mhm.
different from 2016, where he was instantly on the defensive.
Hmm.
Said it before, I was on Christmas vacation, and already the stuff in 2016 was coming out about Russian collusion
Sure.
and Russian all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it just went nuts from there. But like now it's not. It's a lot more. He's on the offensive
Hmm.
I hope so.
to where some of his picks may even be kind of picks to like see how people react. Might even be tricks.
Sure.
But yeah, he's on a roll, and the other side seems to be somewhat defeated. Like they are freaking out some,
Right.
but the freakouts, although they're plentiful and easy to find if you're on social media, they're not really they're not really being they're not really being promoted. They're not really being like,
Oh, some channels do promote them
well,
heavily.
I mean like network channels or like just
Oh no, just
social
online
media.
type. Yeah,
Yeah.
online type.
Doesn't seem to be the appetite for it. Like amongst the grown-ups now, like people don't seem to be as unhappy. I think people are just people that were really freaked out in 2016 or still hate Trump, but just are tired, like don't have the energy to hate him as much. They're a little bit older.
Yeah.
Apathy
I
has
think
set in.
I think a lot of people
Defeat,
knew they were going
apathy,
to vote
defeat.
for
Yeah.
Trump for a while, and they just haven't been able to say that they were going to vote for Trump for a while. And so, like, I think there's a lot of people, obviously, there's a lot of people on the left that voted for Trump. Like, they just. So maybe they're secretly happy, or some sort
I
of
think
relief. Like, you would have to be crazy to not have acknowledged that there's some problems happening within our country, right? So, I mean, maybe they feel a little relief. Some of them, not
probably
all,
some of
obviously.
that. There's probably some of that. Yeah, I bet there's some of like the people that would have freaked out if it was like electoral college popular vote split.
Right,
Like that probably would be acting differently, but because there wasn't, because it was just
right.
like
It's so
um
overwhelming.
it wasn't a game where your team lost by a bad call at the end by the ref. It was
Yeah.
just your team lost by a couple touchdowns and it wasn't really
Yeah.
close. And
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder to talk shit.
Yeah.
It's like just it's harder to
And it kind of
be
feels like,
defiant, I
how
guess.
when you whoop somebody, you know what I mean? Like if you overwhelmingly win, like you don't also there's not a lot of bragging going on either, like it's just like, okay, like it's just the grown-ups have spoken and we're gonna quiet it down for a bit,
Well, yeah, I think
maybe.
on the other side, on the Trump side, I think there was so much relief
Hmm.
that um yeah, the mocking hasn't really had a chance to start yet. But
Okay.
it's coming. It's
Okay.
it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I do appreciate you channeling your inner feminist and calling this the 4B support group episode.
Oh, you're welcome. Beers and broads, beers, broads, and bros.
I saw a girl on TikTok. She said, I
Other,
just can't relate. She's like, my husband pays all my bills. She's like, I'm not for B, I'm for the D.
I love that they chose a Korean thing that will start with B. It's just like
Right.
four
Yeah.
B. It's like
Yeah.
because everybody like I don't care who you are. You're like that's your first thought is like four B's, huh?
Like I gotcha.
That's right. I'm still a seventh grader at heart. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh God, it's funny.
It's just well, we're in the happy hour. We're talking about that, like how their whole all their crazy beliefs are just coming crashing down because it's just they're shaving their heads to become less attractive
Hmm.
Yeah.
to the males, but at the same time they also want to celebrate baldness as beauty for people that can't have hair. But at the same time, they're saying that women that shave their head off are ugly. But at the same time, they love Will Smith's wife and,
No, they
like
don't though.
shouldn't feel bad for her or not her, but like someone that's not famous that has that
Yeah,
condition. Like
alopecia. I love how you
yeah.
pronounced it earlier.
Propecia Smith. It's Will Smith,
Prope-
his wife's name. Propecia Smith.
Propecia Smith.
Shout out to Propecia Smith.
Sometimes I mean I'm getting old, so it's like sometimes I will draw a blank on a name, and it's like I could see her, and I know her name's not Jaden.
Jada. But that's
Jada.
the fucked up part about them. They name their children
Oh
Jada.
yeah.
The son's name is Jaden. Will, this daughter's name is Willow. So
Oh yeah.
narcissistic. Yeah.
Well, I named my son after myself, so
Okay, well, here we are.
that's
I named my
totally
son after
different.
his dad, Danny. Yeah.
That's totally different. Totally different. It
Yeah.
wasn't about narcissism. It was about we couldn't really come up with a better name.
Legacy.
It was
Legacy.
kind of like that's a safe choice because we couldn't agree on any other name combinations. So it's just like,
A
well,
Mhm.
legacy name, a man naming his son after himself is different than a man naming his daughter after himself and a wife naming her son after herself. It's a totally different thing.
yeah.
Family name, I'm very familiar with. That's happened since, that's a thing.
I'm kind of a I'm I don't know. I feel like with the names they chose, oh yeah, so Jane and Will, like that's kind of cutesy. All right, so they're just trying to keep it in the family,
Mhm.
Okay.
but like let's try to keep the sexual stuff within the family too. You know what I'm saying, Jada?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe
Like,
we don't let him go spend the night at Puffy's house because Jaden's
yeah,
come
like
out and said that that was a thing that happened to him. So maybe we
or
Wow.
don't do that either.
yeah. So
Ah,
that's cutesy stuff, but I don't know. It's like, but I yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because it's like tradition, but then also like they had their son wears a dress and like just goes crazy. But it's like they wanted to also like kind of have some kind of tradition from their names passed down. But
mhm.
some
Yeah.
tradition's good, some is not good.
It's
I
a
guess that's
newfangled
okay.
tradition. what it
Yeah.
is.
I guess that's fair though, because all tradition has to be evaluated for whether it's good or not and should be held on to.
Or should we just let it fall by the wayside?
Some, yeah. Some you do, you know.
For sure. For sure.
Can't bring it all with you.
But
I
yeah,
don't know
Trump's on a
what the,
roll.
the name
Yeah.
passed down would be based on, like the junior and the senior type
Mhm.
thing. I have my son's a junior, but I mean, he's the only, I don't know that he would name if you go further down, but I know some families go like, you know,
Hmm.
is your father's name
Yeah.
Christopher too?
Mine, no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm a first and he's a junior. Um, I don't know if he would do his, if he had a son, if he would give him the third. I don't know. That's not really that important. Again, as I
Yeah,
said, it was not it was more like a cop out.
Mhm.
sure.
To be
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
we couldn't really agree on any of their name combinations. And it was just like, well, we can't, like, no one can really complain about this one, can they?
Yeah.
I sure can't. Like
That's good.
everybody has to be okay with this. Like,
We love me.
Pretty much.
that's not what I meant, but yeah.
Yeah,
So what are
it's good.
so Trump named a couple. I mean, it's just coming so fast. We got the latest is RFK Jr. as the Health and Human Services Secretary. That is just colossal right there. You got Trump taking Pete Hegseth,
Mhm.
who from the what do they call it? The curvy couch. Is that what Fox and
Yeah.
Friends like they
Yeah.
do. They call it, like, I haven't watched that in forever, but I know they call it the curvy couch, like Fox and Friends in the morning.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched any,
Yeah,
just
it's
these
like
TV show names or
it's
something
not something
else,
I'm proud of
man.
saying. I'm not proud of knowing this or proud of even repeating it. Curvy couch.
I
I've
think
said it
that's
three
in the
times now.
social, I think it's in the social circles. It's called the curvy couch, but
Yeah,
or maybe
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
that's yeah.
From the curvy
Yeah.
couch to the Secretary of Defense, that is just
It's
Yeah.
quite the
colossal.
promotion.
That is, but
Quite the
then it's like
promotion.
I'm battling my 2016 self, 2017 self when I voted for Trump in that at that time. But at the same,
Mhm.
but I also, to be very honest, like I was that same class that wanted him to moderate. Like I voted for Trump in 2016, but I expected him in 2017 to start chilling out, to
Right.
moderate,
Be a president.
to not piss everybody off, to play the part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I was wrong. I was wrong to kind of think that way. That's I think, and I'm trying to battle that now, which is you kind of still have those same thoughts like, whoa, this pick is too controversial or too this or too that. It's just like, I don't know. Let this man cook.
Well,
Let's let him
it's
go.
been pushed so far to the left. Like it's gone too far.
That's
Every time
true.
I
Yeah.
hear that the guy that has like the mush mouth reading the book about the boys like oral copulating each other, like the what's his name, the Kennedy guy with the real slow speech, but he's got that real southern drawl from Louisiana, isn't he, like the senator from Louisiana? He's
Oh,
read that.
John Kennedy. John Kennedy. Yeah. Yeah.
He's
That
read
guy's
that
good.
book
Yeah.
before. It's like every time I hear him read that book, I'm just like, what are they doing in the schools? Like, why is that even a book that's allowed in the schools? So yeah, they went too far. They went too far. So I think we need some kick-ass border czars and badass Marines, and yeah, I think we need some help.
We forget things. And so like they were talking about uh Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. That's another one that's just like
Yeah,
unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, just
he's
almost
talked more about the Hunter
incomprehensible.
Biden laptop than anybody, right? Like
And he's a
he's
fire.
obsessed
I
with it.
mean, he is a fighter. I mean, I know there's a lot of smoke around him, a lot of like innuendo and all that stuff, but it's like he's a fighter. So again, I'm like 2017, I probably would have been like, "What are you doing, Trump? Oh, come on, man." And that would have been really stupid. And now I'm like, "All right, let's let him go. Let's
Mm.
like approve this guy that he wants and let him see what he can do.
Yeah.
Because Trump did pick a lot of establishment guys that he thought would be accepted in 2017,
Lobbyists pushing
and
people. Yeah.
they either effed him over or they got effed over by the Senate approval
Mhm.
committees that were just like destroyed them.
Yeah.
They would have destroyed anyone that Trump picked. Even if the guy was in government before, if
Right.
Trump said, I want to pick this guy as my secretary of whatever, it was like, oh, yeah, nope,
Yeah.
can't have that. We got to dig up something from high school or whatever to destroy this person's character.
Yeah.
But it's going to be different this time.
Don't you think people are like sick of the ways to ruin people's character because they tried to do it to Bobby like right before the election with that girl and everybody's just like whatever. Like, yeah, so what, he sexted a
It
girl.
was
Get
like,
over yourself.
yeah, it was like built. That was kind of built into his character. He's like,
They're
they're
like, we
like,
don't
hey,
care.
he's a Kennedy, so
They've been
he
known
kind
for
of
doing
like,
similar
yeah,
things.
he's a Kennedy. He hasn't killed anyone. Like
Yeah.
that's like he's ahead of the he's ahead of the curve at this point, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, that's he needs to he should just get what he wants and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say like people forget like I think I heard that today that JFK chose Bobby Kennedy, RFK's dad, RFK
Mhm.
Jr.'s dad, as Attorney General, and I guess at that point Bobby Kennedy had never even tried a case before.
Wow.
So it's like they were like, "Oh, Matt Gay, he's not qualified. He hasn't done this." Or it's like, "Oh, our standards for these things just man, they're just all over the place over time." You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
they'll stay consistent in a short period, but over time they're just all over the place. Or Donald Rumsfeld, I think they said that he was Secretary of Defense the first time at like 43 years old, and Pete
Wow.
Hegseth is 45.
Wow, Donald Rumsfeld looks
So it's
so
like
much older though, right? When you
I don't
think
know.
back
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
like,
He was like it was the old generation. Like
yeah, when you think
everybody just like
his
20 years
45 versus,
older.
yeah, that's
He had lived
wild.
a rougher
And
life.
I
Yeah.
don't know if Donald Rumsfeld was ever in the service or not. But yeah, they're just like people forget. Like Donald Rumsfeld, he
Yeah.
was George Bush the second's or the second's Secretary of Defense, but he was a Secretary of Defense before that when he was a lot younger than Pete Hegseth is today.
Maybe like people weren't
And
paying as close of attention back then, I think maybe about so many more eyes are on everything, you know?
mm-hmm. Oh,
Like
I'm
you would
sorry.
have
Yeah,
to
no, he
actually
was in
be
the Navy.
watching the news.
Rumsfeld was in the Navy for 3 years, so
Okay,
Oh,
there
okay.
you go.
Wasn't the normal tour 4?
54 to 57. Pardon?
Isn't the normal military excursion 4 years?
Yeah, as a naval aviator and flight instructor in the 50s. But and, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
But like just the comparison, like Pete Hegseth, he's too young or whatever. It's like, well, he's
Right.
It's actually
older.
a bit longer in the tooth. You
He
think
wouldn't be
about it.
younger. He wouldn't be the youngest Secretary of Defense, but
They
Right.
said that they pulled him down because he has like this cross on him. Like he was supposed to be a National Guard unit for on January 6th. Like he was, and that he got pulled off of his duty
hmm.
because somebody reported his tattoo, which is like cross of Jerusalem or something like that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this guy's I don't know. It's again, 2017 would have been like, what in the world? Now it's like, let's see what
Yeah.
happens because
Yeah.
all these other establishment shit bags that are pre-approved,
Right.
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
have been in
They
the
got a stamp on
system
him
and like
already.
they know how things work and
Yeah.
no, they've been in the
Yeah.
system for decades. Like, no, hell with them. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think also Pete Hegseth wrote a book, um, what the War on Warriors or something like that, where he really does a fantastic job outlining all the problems of their military from top to bottom.
Okay.
So it's probably a good I don't know, good framework for maybe making some change. We'll see.
Well, I
But yeah,
mean, we've
he's
seen what they've
really
put in charge. I mean, we weren't up, no one was up in arms when our admiral was dressed like a dog, wasn't he in a dog costume? Like he identifies as Rottweiler or something like that.
I hope we can
No,
put
I'm not
that
making
stuff.
that up,
No, you're
right?
not.
Like,
Yeah,
and no one made a big
everybody's
fit about that. Everybody was like perfectly fine with it. No big deal. So shut the fuck up, honestly, respectfully.
something. I think there's something there may be some kind of psychological definition for this where you show people things that are so weird that they can't
They don't
really
know how to
remember them or
respond. Oh,
process. It doesn't really, because I've seen the guy in the uniform with the dog mask on,
Yeah, it's real.
and
Hey,
it's
that
like
exists.
every time I see it, I go through this process in my brain, like that's fake.
Mhm.
This is fake. This is photoshopped.
it's
Oh,
AI.
but and then in my mind, I'm just like, oh, but
Yeah,
no,
Admiral
it's
Levine.
not.
Yeah,
But it's like, oh, Chris, you know it's not fake. Like there's
yeah,
a lot of whacked out people out there that just they could care less about your norms or
yeah. You don't get
traditions
to be
or
mad about
what is
Tulsi
whatever.
Gabbard if you're fine with the the Rottweiler
That's another one.
general.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
don't
they're
get to be
fine
upset
with
about it.
yeah, they're
You
fine with
got to
General
shut up.
Rottweiler, and all his World War II war because he was definitely a
He was into some shit.
Rough, rough.
Rear Admiral Rottweiler. You've seen
Reporting
his
for
trials.
duty.
You've seen his Nuremberg trials. They were brutal. Uh, but
And
like
Admiral Levine in her dress, like
it's
we
so
were
weird that
forced
you
to,
think you can't really process it. But it does do something to you, but you can't really process it.
yeah.
Like
Well, whenever anyone has something to say, I'm going to remind them that they had no problem with that. So we're going to have to see if a decorated war veteran could maybe do it better. We're just going to have to see. It's our only
he's a
choice.
and then the more you hear about you hear a story like career bureaucrats at the Department of Defense are freaking out over the Pete Hegseth nomination and just like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Good
I was
news.
nervous.
Every
I
morning,
was
good
really,
news.
I was really nervous about this pick,
Hmm.
but you totally changed my mind.
Yeah.
Same thing with Matt Gates. Apparently, like DOJ officials are like fearing for their futures and their lives. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, I
Wonder
love this
why.
guy. This is a
Yeah.
fantastic pick, and maybe they should all resign.
Yeah.
Because
Immediately.
myself, like when someone takes over at my job, I don't freak out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. You're doing your job. Yeah.
I'm not like, oh my God, I'm going to get arrested. You know?
Like for what? What have you been getting into, Christopher?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay,
Just
cool.
out here cooking the books. That's
They
about
still
it.
pay us in American dollars. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then the Matt Gate, Tulsi Gabbard, I think some US congressperson was just like, score a win for Moscow.
Yeah.
It's because
It's still on that.
Right.
they're,
Straight into Russia.
they're saying she's oh my
An
God.
op.
Like, man, that's something else. It's like, oh, really? So you think the National Guard just infiltrated
They're seriously gonna die on that hill. It
the
seems like.
Hawaiian, the Hawaiian
Yeah.
National Guard is
Yeah.
infiltrated with Russian uh, Pacific Islanders that have been uh, swayed
She
by.
served so hard, her hair turned gray. Like this woman has been through it. She has served our country in ways that these people will never
Yeah,
understand. It's
that is an
disgusting.
interesting thing you pick up because people with the skunk stripe
Yeah.
are taken more seriously. I mean, this
No,
is
no, no, that
science.
happened. That really
Was
happened
that
on her
happened like in
tour.
Iraq or something? Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
her
heard her
tour was
talk
basically
about it
like, yeah,
in a joking way.
yeah. No, it's not. I don't think it's a joke. Yeah.
But I've seen people, but I know people that have that and they haven't been on tour that I know of.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
Mm.
mean?
Sure.
They got a little skunk stripe going on. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just I mean, they don't like to
Yeah.
call it that. I call it that.
Sure, of course, behind their backs, probably.
Not to their face.
Of course.
I mean, it's like hashtag kindness.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I like the hashtag. It's good.
I think I'm some kind of monster.
Yeah, no, you're not.
You just
Of
play
course
one on
not.
the internet. That's all.
Yeah,
No, I think they
Yeah.
know. Like they know what a skunk looks like.
sure. They know. You don't have to tell them.
They've had
Would
this
you walk up to a
conversation.
retarded kid and tell them that they're retarded? No, they know. It's fine.
Of course not.
Fine. Of course not.
Quite extreme, but it makes a point.
I have a system for those interactions. I'm not going to share it. I don't want to give away my secrets, but I know what to do in those situations.
Right.
I found it.
We would hope that you did.
Not a high five.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not going to share my
No, it's good.
script for these situations.
Oh, wait, we forgot to go over one. What is it? Elon Musk's potential nomination to that Doge department or
Doge.
whatever.
Well, it's so
Chris
great
is
because he doesn't
fascinated.
even need one. He doesn't even need a nomination because they set up a independent non-governmental agency, just like because I guess presidents can do that. They can just be like, I'm going to hire these people to do a commission. Reagan did this. Reagan did something called the Grace Commission
Uh-huh.
or something. That's what it became known as. Where he basically just hired a bunch of like non-government employee experts to analyze government waste spending and come up with a report or something like that. And they did it. And it got used somewhat. And I guess I think whether it got used or not, Reagan later used that to say, you see what I did here
Yeah.
with these people I hired to cut down on government waste and all the taxes and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
the economy was booming. So he was able to say, like, look what I did. And this is
Yeah.
what caused that. So
Boy,
It's
they
just gonna
really
be
have
another
such a
grab.
But it's called
short amount of
Doge.
time to fix the problem, right? Like to
Mhm.
get to drain the swamp effectively. Like the time is so short, right? Like if they're
It
going
is
to really
short,
get rid of
yeah.
all of these government officials and they're going to go in and like clean up these departments, like these are hundreds and thousands of people that are going to lose their job. Like
Yeah, I
to
heard someone
reform
today.
that is 4 years is a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I heard someone today explain it this way, where they said that it's not, he doesn't have 4 years. He doesn't have 2 years. He has like a year to put things in motion to make these things happen.
Right.
And in that first year, and if that first 100 days, they put up such an opposition to like really just destroy all your momentum, then
It's
it's
not gonna
over.
help.
And that's kind of what happened
Right.
his
Yeah.
first 4 years. But I think his first 4 years were like when the government is busy, like trying to choke itself, which they
Right.
were during the rut. Like that kind of actually turns out to be
Russiagate.
good for America because like everybody's just like, okay, while y'all are trying to kill each other and put each other in jail, we're gonna go out here and work
Right.
and just make money and do things. And
Mhm.
they can't. And while they're trying to put each other in jail and do the Russia collusion, all that, like the government was kind of at a standstill.
Mhm.
Right.
So I don't know what point I was
Crazy.
at, but it worked out pretty well. But yeah, the whole the fact that there's Dogecoin out there, the fact that there are all these like Dogecoin accounts on Twitter that are like pro Elon, because I guess he's affiliated with that cryptocurrency in some way.
Right.
Right.
I don't even maybe in a joking way, maybe in a real way, maybe in no way, but it's like it's kind of there's a connection there.
Mhm.
Right.
And then they come up with this Department of Government Efficiency that's not
Right.
really a department, but it's just and it's got the initials DOGE, Doge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Matrix stuff, and I'm not.
It's so weird, right?
We could be
And
in
the fact that
Matrix.
Elon hasn't left the Mar-a-Lago since the election, he's there. He's like set up shop. He's there.
That's weird.
And
That's
the
weird
guy
to
that
me.
sits
Like,
behind the desk and is like argues with the kid on the college campuses, he pointed
Oh,
out that
Charlie
like when,
Kirk.
yeah, he pointed out that like whenever Elon is like gonna do something, that he quits everything else and just does that. And so I think whatever he's doing or doing with Trump, like he's there, like his kids there,
Well,
his
I
robot
think,
dogs are
yeah,
there, like he is setting up shop to
I
fix
don't think they're
whatever he
messing
is
around.
focused on. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think so
I don't
either.
think they're messing around. I think that like he sees this as like his reason for being, like
Yeah,
that if he doesn't come through and like cut government waste, like he
yeah,
will see himself as a great failure. To him it'll be like his rocket ships blowing up.
Hmm.
yeah,
Right? It's just I'm not even trying to like make the guy into a hero. I mean, in some ways it's like no, he's just kind of like he's kind of a maniac, but he's
yeah,
obsessed with things that like we'll ride his obsessions, you know,
yeah,
as
Hmm.
long as we can.
yeah,
At the same time, it is strange because I know a lot of like I don't even know if this happened, but like you know if presidents in the early 1900s were playing bridge with you know the Rockefellers and you know all
yeah.
the oil and railroad magnates back then, they were like
Mhm.
you know they're just all best friends and playing cards together all the time, and their kids hang
Yeah,
out like I guess some people could say, you know, you could probably make arguments that like a lot of bad came from that, but also a lot of good and a lot of like American kick-ass stuff.
Mm.
Um, but like, yeah, I guess it's kind of similar where Elon is like a tech mogul with the cars and the batteries and the solar and the
yeah,
satellites and the Starlink
And the
and the underground,
internet.
like everything is like, okay, that is a little bit weird.
the
Because
Tesla tunnels.
at
Yeah,
least back then, this oil baron that was it. He was
right.
just an oil baron. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
but now, like, you know, he's a rocket baron and a tech baron, internet baron, satellite baron,
Well,
underground
I
boring
mean,
machine baron, like
yeah,
You gotta
EV battery
diversify.
baron.
That's how you build your wealth these days.
So I
I
can
guess
understand
so.
like the people that are freaking out. Like, okay,
Yeah,
I
for
gotta
sure.
get where there's a little
We're
bit of a
coming from.
there's a glimpse of like this guy's a future James Bond villain,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but that's not really, but there's a lot more to it, right?
I just
So
yeah, I don't know. There's something there. I mean, it's unstoppable now. The train is in motion and it is what it is. We're not going to be able to stop it, but it just is interesting that, he is the smartest man, maybe in the world, who knows? And he really
I
is
don't,
getting a lot of
so like,
access.
yeah, I, so
I mean, considering he
like
also was
people
like he was in cuddle
say,
puddles with Amber Heard 3 years ago. Like his might be a little bit have some questionable stuff going on, right? Like the cuddle
I
puddles,
think
he's got
that,
17 kids by 14 different baby
yeah, he's
mamas. Like
definitely like, I would just
he's
say
got some
he's not like the people that hate him are like, Elon's and like one of the, one of the craziest things in 2024 is like, there's just like, do nothing losers on the internet calling Elon Musk an idiot.
it's insane. It's
And they are
insane.
dead serious. They
Oh,
are
for
dead
sure.
serious that this man is an idiot. He's
Yeah.
lazy. He doesn't know anything. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, so you're just saying he's the luckiest man in the world? Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you saying then?
My
You
brother
go
tried to
from
talk shit about him, and I was like, what about when he gave away the patent for the electric vehicles that you love so much? He was like silent. He's like, it's like,
So I wouldn't defend him by saying he's the smartest man, but I'd say he's like, without a doubt, the most capable man in the entire world right now.
yeah,
Like when you
probably
just talk
efficient,
about
most
like
efficient.
when you just talk about capabilities, like pure capabilities from like resources, money,
Mhm.
he's got scientists, you know, out the yin yang.
Yeah, the
Um,
best of the best.
so yeah, it's the most capable man on the planet right now. And maybe that's something that needs to be closely monitored,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like, I mean, the guy's obsessed about going to Mars. It's like maybe he's so obsessed about going to Mars that he might make some weird short like maybe some bad short-term recommendations because you're just so fucking obsessed about this shit. It's like,
Feel bad
Yeah.
for who's ever on
People
the
with
receiving
autism,
end.
they get focused on something and that's like it's the focus. So
yeah,
that's what Charlie Kirk was saying. Like when Elon is on something, like everything else is to the wayside. It's the one thing.
Is it focus
So
or is it obsession?
the
That's
only
the
thing
real
I've ever
question.
bought, to be honest, the only thing I've ever bought from Elon Musk that I know of is the Twitter or an X, whatever premium, like the
verification.
blue check or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
verification. I have no desire to own an EV of any kind, especially like a Tesla. It's like the
Mhm.
whole area of North Texas is fucking littered with retards that
Ours
drive
too.
Teslas that don't know how to drive at all. It's like,
The Teslas are driving themselves. I got in one yesterday in an Uber, and my guy barely spoke any English.
yeah,
And
like
he was like, "Oh, no, it's fine. It's driving itself." And I was like, "Okay, well, this isn't the way." He's like, "Oh, no, it knows it'll go and it's fine." And it took me like some weird way to where we were going.
I don't know what
But
that's
yeah,
going on
it
here
was
because it's
herky
like,
jerky. It almost
but
pulled into traffic weird, and he had to
yeah, I
Good
like
don't
for you,
brake real
kid.
hard.
I'm just kind of fascinated by the guy because it's like, man, he sure is getting a shitload of stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he just seems to be everywhere all the time, like
Yeah.
on the internet and in person. Like,
Yep.
is there only one of this guy?
Hmm.
It's
A
like
rocket goes off, he's there somehow. Like what? Like
people are stuck at the space station. He's sending people in to get them. People
yeah,
need Starlink in South Carolina. He's getting that handled.
like
Donald
I think
Trump
he's good.
rallies, Tucker Carlson rallies. He's there.
I think he's all good, but like he's human. So like, what if Elon Musk one day just and I think all his intentions right now are great, right? But
Right.
what if Trump and him get into a fight?
Oh boy.
What if
Well,
he's
his other business partner that he got in a fight with is like maybe going to take over the world with AI. Like, yeah,
yeah,
what
like
if?
what if and again what if they have a fight and Trump wins and Elon's like, all right, motherfuckers,
Yeah.
all right then, all right,
Yeah. I'm blowing up Mars. Yeah.
or yeah, like yeah, like I don't want to be in that. Yeah, like what if this guy all of a sudden turns bad? Because people can turn bad. People can get angry and like be like, never mind.
I mean, it's never like an
Under so
evil
much pressure and
idiot. It's
duress.
never an evil idiot in the bad guy movies, it's always an evil genius.
Yeah,
So, if he's
and then
gonna take a
he was
turn,
good at first too,
yeah,
but then they
yeah,
did something to him.
They
Right?
turned
yeah.
him slowly.
This is Die Hard 5 or whatever with
Thank God.
the guy who was taking over F-16s.
Hmm.
Tim,
Well, he
what's
he
that guy's
knows that our grid
Tim
can't
something?
support all of the cars that he's building. Like that's kind of evil in itself, to be behind this whole movement of the Green New Deal, and we're going to get everybody in electric vehicles and no gas powered vehicles by 2035 and all the things that they're trying to do when we know that we don't have the infrastructure for it. It's weird.
See, I
Maybe
think
that's what he's
that
going to do. Maybe he'll fix that.
this is dumbass me talking, but I think that Elon Musk is probably like Tesla was just a vehicle, no pun to use to kind of
Yeah,
get where I am. Like
sure.
Tesla, I really don't know if I think Tesla is profitable, but it's also like, as I've ranted before about like everybody that buys a Tesla gets like a $7,000, $8,000, four, five, seven, eight, $10,000 tax credit rebate,
Yeah.
that, pays for their next vacation or pays for a bunch of car payments. And
You know what I
so it's
heard
kind of like,
today? Is it some of the people that have kids that are like not trans, maybe trans specific too, but like the kids that think that identify as like cats and things like that. Like there's some sort of government stipend that they're getting for the mental health care for those children, like $1,200 a month.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
uh, if they have a Tesla or just, no, I believe it. I believe it because there's somebody like there's government agencies that are just like tasked with like, here's $1 billion. Like, find out who to
Yeah.
give this. Like, you need to find out who to give this to. It's like with the
It's
COVID relief
wild.
money, like there's
Yeah.
still money in those accounts.
Yeah.
Like they printed and put so much money aside for COVID relief that
Hmm.
it all hasn't been spent yet.
Yeah.
Or they printed and gave so much money to school districts that the school districts are just like, well, our purchasing department only has 5 people.
Yeah.
So even though you've given us all this money, like we still like we don't actually have the staff to spend all the money you've given us, so we
Yeah.
haven't spent it yet. Because
It's
Yep.
going to take some
because
time.
it's not you just don't go to Costco. You have to like have put bids out, and that takes a lot of
Right.
time. And it's like, yeah, so it's
Bureaucracy, which is maybe what they're gonna do. I mean, maybe that's what he's going to do. He's gonna cut all the weird bullshit tape, you
well,
know?
they are talking. They're talking about real stuff. So they're talking
Right.
about stuff that Republican firebrands have been kind of bullshitting about for decades.
Hmm.
Like, we're going to slash the size of government. They're actually talking about real plans to do it. Like, I
Yeah.
was listening to Megan Kelly had Bill Ackman on.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Bill Ackman's the billionaire or whatever that kind of turned, he's pro Trump now. That
Okay.
he kind of turned into like a political cultural figure. Um, after all the anti-Semitic Palestinian rallies were going on at college campuses in the U.S.
Right.
Right. Awesome.
But he was on Megyn Kelly's show and they were talking about it. And these are like the real people that are going to be that have actually shut down companies before and
Right.
laid off workforces, and they were having a conversation where it went beyond the whole we're going to slash government by 40%, blah, blah, blah. It was like, no, we're going to do this. And actually, what we're going to do is make sure those people have a lot of time.
Hmm.
Like, I, the way that Elon and his gang are talking about slashing the federal government is really going to be a shit ton of like really generous severance packages. Like, they're not going to just fire 40, like millions of federal workers. They're going to
Right.
space it out over time, and they're going to tell them, I'm going to say that your last day of work is December 25th or 20, December 31st, 2026. And at that point, we will pay you X amount, which will be
Hmm.
very generous, like very generous, like, so maybe even too much, but they're talking in real ways. Like, they know that like you can't just fire the government. You need to have a slow winding down process. You need to have severance packages. They understand that when you buy a business and you want to shut down like 400 stores, like if
Hmm.
you buy a franchise, you want to shut down 400 stores, you don't just save money right away. It actually costs a lot of money to shut down all those stores because you are paying severance, you still owe rent, like you're still paying benefits, you're going to pay for retrain, like re-education, retrain. It's like it's expensive.
It's a process.
So I think when they're actually talking about slashing the federal government, but
Hmm.
by like offering some pretty sweet severance packages to a shitload of people to
It's
let
like
them
any
kind of come
takers? Huh?
to let them
Huh?
to let them to let them come down easy. And I think like if you hear Republicans talking about let's slash like, don't worry because they're full of shit. But when you hear these
Yeah.
guys talking about specific actions and like
Hmm.
how long it should take and how much the severance packages should be and what kind of job training they should get and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like, these guys have done this a lot before. They've
Yeah.
downsized organizations before, right or wrong, good or evil, whatever. They've done this before, and they're talking about it in real terms, like realistic ways.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, government's gotten so big. I mean, look at all the money that's been lost for the homeless in California. Like
Lost.
it's just crazy. It's absolutely insane.
I think we're
It's
about to hit.
insane when you think about how that money could be repurposed to actually help people. And it's
I
just
love
so
this.
fucked
Yeah.
up.
I hope that we're about to get into an era where people are just nonstop This is something I think Elon and that Doge group could do. Nonstop slapping Americans in the face with the bullshit they're being forced to pay for.
Yeah.
Just slap us in the face with,
I mean,
we're
yeah.
training Pakistani police forces on how to be more trans friendly.
They put like 5 of
Like
them on the
I'm
news this
sorry,
morning.
like I
My
hope
mouth
the
was
people of
wide open.
Jalalabad, yeah, like I hope the people in Islamabad, Pakistan, I
Yeah.
wish them the best.
Yeah.
I hope their police force is kind to people of all people. I just don't
Fauci
want to
doing
pay for
something
it.
with
Like
trans
pay
monkeys.
for it.
Like what? Trying to make
Oh
monkeys
yeah.
like what? My mouth was
Well, there's a
wide
whole like
open. They gave like
there's a
5 different
whole
things that they're spending our money on. And I was like, wow, that's
you can
wild.
look up accounts on your favorite socials. White Coast. I can't say this. White Coat Waste Project.
Ugh.
White Coat Waste Project, and that account just kind of lists all the crazy, insane, inhumane things we do to animals that American taxpayers are forced to pay for. Like we need to be slapped in the face every day with, "Hey,
I
you
love it.
dumbasses! You just paid for this.
I
You
love
just
it.
paid for that. You just bought, you know, uh, a town in Italy,
Yeah.
new stoplights for some reason because an American company makes stoplights, and they just thought, well, let's give Italy money so they can buy. And it's obscene.
Yeah.
It's obscene. It's unsustainable,
Yeah.
and we need to get slapped in the face with it all the time about all the waste that goes on, the cruelty, and it's like with the white coat waste project, it's a mixture of cruelty and it's like just blowing money.
You can't drive mindless consumerism by slapping people in the face, though, Christopher. Don't you see? Don't you see?
I don't know. We can, we can. I think we can be a consumer society and buy good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't all have to be cheap shit from China.
Yeah. Well, you remember when appliances used to last? Like they don't last like they used to. Like everything is kind of meant to be temporary,
I
you
think of it
know?
every day. I
Yeah,
think of it every day because like I've got 3 kids,
sure.
7, 7, 12, right? And they had hand-me-downs from my sister's kids who are a little bit older. So
Mm-hmm.
like a
Yeah.
wide range and like the oldest toys last forever. Like the oldest toy in the playroom that was like a hand-me-down from the oldest cousin, you can't break it. And
Yeah.
then the latest piece of shit you buy for your kid breaks in 2 hours.
Sneeze
Yeah.
at it a few times and it's falling apart.
You know what I mean? It's like that's an exaggeration. But
No, but
it's true. It's true.
yeah.
Like they don't, that stuff doesn't last. We had toys like you would have to take the batteries out for them to, they wouldn't stop. And then it's like other toys, like the batteries last longer than the damn toy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it goes with everything. It goes with, oh, this is what they did this is what they did to us. They took Pizza Hut away and they gave us shitty washers and dryers. And,
Yeah. They sure did.
we
They
had a
got to find new
Maytag.
ways to drive. What is it? To drive sales any new way
Yeah.
they can.
We had a Maytag. We had a Maytag washing machine that was handed down to us from my wife's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing
They were
lasted
built
for,
to last. Like the advertisement was that
the
they
thing
were
was
built
ran
to
for like,
last.
yeah. Since that thing finally died, because they wouldn't fix it anymore. It's like we've been
Yeah.
through 3 washing machines,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
you know,
Yep. I
it's,
do. I
it's,
sure do.
It's not cost effective anymore at this point. You got to buy something else, man. Buy.
and I think America, like finally, like many people have known this for a while, but finally, like a lot of people are starting to wake up to like
Mm-hmm.
the scam.
Yeah.
It's all a racket, people.
But you can't, it's even though you've identified the scam, it's not like you can get out of the scam. It's not like that's going to make your fridge last longer, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we're at a
fucked up.
crossroads though. I mean, because Trump is hiring a team of Avengers to
Yeah.
do like, man, people like of the last 30 years have had a lot of very idealistic thoughts about what our government could do. Like, what could
Mm-hmm.
we do? It's like
Yeah.
this might be the best chance we have to getting those things done.
That's what I'm saying. We got 4 years of get some shit done.
I
Let
don't.
people see real things. Hopefully, I hope that, if Tulsi Gabbard doesn't like figure out what's going on in Maui, or if RFK doesn't fix the fucking food system, like I'm gonna be really sad. Like I'm gonna be disgusted with this place.
That's true. Like this, the stakes are high. They got to deliver. Like
Yeah,
the
right?
Avengers. Like if the Avengers didn't defeat the guy with the glove,
Thanos.
Yeah.
like I
Thanos.
mean, the movie would have sucked. Let me tell
Right.
you,
Would have,
it would have been a terrible ending.
yeah.
And when Iron Man died at the end, everybody been like, "Fuck you, you suck, you lost, you loser." But they defeated Thanos. Everybody's just like crying. You know, it's like everybody's upset that
Yeah.
Iron Man died. But again, you know, could end differently.
Mhm.
Uh,
So what you're saying is that our
a lot
Iron
of
Man is gonna have
pressure,
to
a lot of
die.
pressure.
Yeah.
A
It's
lot
a
of
lot of
pressure.
pressure. Yeah, a lot of pressure. What
And,
if, like, if
still
Trump,
people
like,
trying to kill people, that's always on the table too. Like this is a lot of
yeah,
lives and change, and people that have been dirty for years might be exposed, like Nancy Pelosi. Like, these are people that have a lot of pull and a lot of power and a lot of say, and
I
it's
think
interesting.
the worst thing that could happen to people like that is they're just forced to go away. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
under no
I hope
illusion that
so.
Nancy Pelosi is going to go to jail, but it's like, you just hope, like, in the next 4 years, she's just like, you know what? I'm rich enough. Kind of
I could
tired of losing, and kind of getting making look
People,
of made to look a fool of. So I'm gonna go ahead and retire.
yeah,
retire into obscurity. One
It's
would
not like
hope.
she's gonna go to prison for insider trading or anything like that.
they put
It's more
Martha
like
Stewart in prison.
their
I
punishment
would, I would
is,
be fine with Trump putting people in prison that have done things
yeah.
wrong.
Oh, I'd be fine with it.
I'd
Yeah,
be
for
okay
sure.
with it. I'll never forget her ripping up that paper. Like, I'd be fine with her going to prison. Fine.
Yeah, or her husband,
Or her husband.
someone dear to her.
They
No,
both can.
but yeah, at least a Biden or two has got to go. Got to do some time.
Those mothers.
But will they is the question. Will they?
I'm going his sister and brother. Those two.
Nice. Yeah,
So
the brother's
weird.
got an
Like,
island.
yeah, like there's just been no attention to them at all.
The brother has an
No,
island close to Epstein's island.
yeah, not
Mm,
like the
that's a
mainstream
little
media just does
weird.
not, the mainstream media does not want to talk about Joe Biden's siblings and his family and their business and all that. They don't,
No.
that's been off limits.
Yeah. Boy, he looked so happy the other day with Trump. I haven't seen him look that good. It's like he shook off like in that movie where the guy was walking with the limp and then he like took off walking regular. I saw Joe Biden running
These
the other
guys are
day. I
so
was
sad.
like, what's happening, Joe
Yeah.
Biden?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. People are saying that. Like, yeah, maybe Joe Biden is Kaiser
Joseph.
Sose, and they've been drugging, and instead of drugging him to keep him up, they've been drugging him to keep him down. So
Oh my
it's opposite.
God.
It's like
What kind of
they've been drugging
world?
him. They've been
Hmm.
drugging him to keep him pacified and not
We are in
keep
a
him
fucking
lively.
movie. Like, it's so crazy.
That's what I've seen people say that.
Well, he
Some
has
guy
been
said on Joe
knocked the
Rogan,
heck
I think.
out. He has been knocked out, laying on the
No,
beach, sleeping. Yeah, but they were giving him the baby oil, you know,
he did seem happy.
very
Melania said no,
happy.
thank you.
I love
Melania said
that.
no, I'm not gonna. Said
I'm not
no,
going to
thanks,
join
Thanks so
doc.
you.
much.
No, thanks, Doctor Jill. She said,
It's not her scene.
oh, I think it was leaked that she is still angry about their home being raided by the FBI.
It's such an
Mm.
That
invasion
was
of privacy. You're right. I
so
mean,
much,
they
so
when
much
they
crazy stuff has happened. We forget, like, yeah, or it's like Mar-a-Lago. It's like, well, that's his
her
home.
house,
That's
yeah,
her house. Yeah, that's what she considers her house. So,
it's where she keeps her purses and her panties. Yeah.
yep.
And they
I
don't,
think
when
their
they raid
kids.
your house, they they go through everything. They tear everything apart. It's not
Yeah, you're
like
not
they
like, well,
just
that's hey,
leave.
that's my son's room. They're just like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, no problem.
yeah,
We'll leave that alone.
yeah.
It's like,
His mattress will be flipped
don't
too.
care.
Yep,
Everyone's getting the same
crazy.
treatment. It's like,
Yeah,
sorry about, raiding your house and all, but you want to get together for a click.
no.
I just thought what Trump handles those situations well. I
Hmm.
thought he was very he showed a lot of deference to Joe Biden. I don't know if you noticed their handshake. Trump
Yeah,
let his hand be on the bottom. I noticed that. And
yeah,
then he said something which I think is not for Joe Biden, it's more Donald Trump's respect for the office and for the White House.
yeah,
I'm sure Donald Trump does not respect Joe Biden as a fully functional human being.
Hmm.
But he said something like that politics is really nasty and it's uh, but something, like can really be nasty and really unpleasant and
Hmm.
really terrible. But he said, but today it's not that. Today it's a beautiful world. And it's like, doesn't mean tomorrow will be.
right.
He was just saying,
For
but it was
this
just kind
moment
of,
in time.
it just captured, and that's true because it just captured it.
Yeah.
Because it,
I love
you're
that
not
Jill
gonna.
looks so mad, like in the picture of the three of them together. Like Jill's face looks so.
Yeah, it sucks when you can't help it. Like when you're in a mood and you're
I
just
have one
like,
of
I
those
want,
faces.
yeah, and you're just like, the right thing to do would be to show no emotion,
Yeah.
but you're just like, fuck that. I'm gonna
I'm
let
showing
everybody
all
know.
the emotion.
I'm gonna let everybody know that, not verbally, but I'm gonna let everybody know I'm not happy about
Yeah,
this situation. Like I just can't help it.
exactly. Yeah,
I know I
so
shouldn't,
funny. It's
but
so
I'm gonna
funny.
come out here with a scowl on my face. I cannot help it. Well,
It's a
we'll
great
see how it
time to be
goes. I mean,
alive.
they got
Yeah,
to
every
keep
day
this
it's different.
guy. They got to keep him alive. They got to keep Donald Trump safe because
It's
we
an
got a
interesting
long
time.
time. We've got a long time before he's officially in there.
Yeah,
It's a long time.
it
A
It's a
really
couple months,
long
is.
it'll
time
fly
before
by
he's.
before you know it, and then the tariffs are gonna hit us, and all hell's gonna break loose.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Say your prayers for your country. Say your prayers for your president.
really.
Just say your prayers, you filthy heathens.
Yeah.
You need it.
That's true.
I'm making my puppy pray before I make him originally I would make him sit and stay and wait for his food, and then
Hmm.
I like called it out couple like seconds and then longer and longer, and then I made the kiss on his nose the release, and now I make him pray and then the kiss on his nose for release. So we say a little prayer every day. Twice a day.
Meanwhile, I was thinking, is this lady won't let me eat until I do all this.
Yeah, that's a lot there. I'm gonna think about that. Think about that for next week. You just laid a lot on us.
I
It's a
know.
lot.
Did I make my puppy pray? What if he's a man of God and like his calling is to like go pray with the olds? He's such a sweet soul. He's a sweet little boy. He's
Like
real
air.
sweet.
Oh yeah, this is like Airbud, but if Airbud became the Pope. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Little man of God just going in and praying
Hey,
with the olds. I say, do you want to
hey,
pray? And he'll put his little paw up.
If Airbud can ski, Airbud can hoop, he can play in the NBA.
He can forgive.
Airbud can save Christmas.
Yeah,
Can he
he
not?
can go pray with the olds.
Right? Then he can, yeah.
Yeah.
He
He
can
can
be
do it
a
all.
ordained he can be an ordained minister
Hmm.
Yep.
of the Unitarian Church.
Hey,
No,
are
yeah,
you
the
praying for
Airbud could
Donald
be
Trump in our country twice a day? No, you are not. So he
it's true.
is.
Airbud could be the Air Pope.
There you go.
Airbud. Airbud Pope.
Air Pope.
That is next in
Well,
line for the Airbud. When they want to hey, if anybody wants to resurrect the Airbud movies, come
Please
see
don't.
me. No, well, or don't, but take a risk.
Well, Air
We got
Pope does
ideas.
have
We
a
got
nice
ideas.
ring to it. It's I don't
Like
think it'll
Al Qaeda's hurting a little bit in their image. They could use a little,
yeah.
freshening up, a little
Arcada.
lightning. Yeah. Airbud joins the SEALs.
Airbuds.
Airbud
Yeah.
retires from the SEALs, has a drinking problem,
Is that what
comes
they call
comes
it? They
back.
call it the buds when they go, the Navy SEALs stuff buds.
Yeah, earbuds.
training.
Yeah, earbuds.
Yeah.
He retires, has a drinking problem, but then comes back and then teaches at Airbuds. Teaches the new recruits. It's a
And it finds its way again. It gives.
That's what they call a redemption
Yo.
arc.
Yep. More
Yeah,
of a
Airbuds
redemption
needs
arc.
to get. All right, this show's over. God damn it! This is bullshit. I can't take anymore.
Get it on. Do what you want, everybody.
Happy
pretty good.
Friday. Or no, it's on Friday. God damn it.
It will be when
Airbud
this
needs to
goes
take
up.
on more serious topics.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
I could see it one day. There's like going to be a Comedy Central roast of Airbud.
Mm-hmm. It should happen, honestly, considering how many people out there just get
Carly,
just-
they're mocking you because you pray too much.
A lot of jokes about all the, children who sired out of wedlock, stuff like that. A lot of bitches jokes.
heavy on the
Not
B
the
word, but other than that,
Oh my God.
Comedy Central
Oh.
roast of Airbud.
Well,
Good.
next time you guys see me, I will have lived through my first vacation. So
please regale us
see you
with
guys
all
next Friday.
tell us all the stories. I want to hear about it.
Die Hard Airbud.
Con Air.
Con
Put him in
Air
prison.
Bud.
Con
There you
Airbud.
go.
Con
yeah.
Air, but
Malcolm X Airbud. That will be
These
a tough one to
movies
write.
just write themselves.
That'd be a tough one. That might be a little tough one, but
I'm sure with a little ingenuity, you'll pull it off.
Black Panther Airbud. Man, the 60s were crazy, man. You don't know.
I know.
Malcolm Air, bud.
It was a tumultuous time
Yeah.
For
for
everybody
golden
involved.
retrievers,
Yeah.
for golden retriever puppies.
All parties involved.
Harder for them. They're real beautiful.
All right, let's stop this. Start talking about Airbud and porn. All right.
All right,
let's
let's-
just go ahead and
All
end
right.
the show.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Can everybody
Peace
have a
out,
great
everybody.
night? Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fight. I hope
The
Mike
fight
Tyson
tomorrow night.
wins.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that in your vacation and everything else that happens in between.
Fan Man needs to make a return.
Definitely. Shout out
Fan
to
Man.
the fan man. Wherever
My
you're at.
money's on Fan Man. It's gonna be the last round. No one knows who's gonna win, or maybe Mike Tyson's on the ropes, but then Fan Man comes in.
Distracts everybody.
As long as somebody goes like this. They do
Oh
that.
yeah. That's what I did after I voted for Trump, and I was leaving the voting booth. I was like Xing
doing-
myself in the crotch Xing everybody. She was like, take an I voted sticker. I was like,
Why don't you take this and suck it, bitch? It's the attitude
it's-
voting era.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah. Take care.
Peace out,
Do what you
everybody.